This is Dr. Thomas Ray, and if you're here listening to this, then chances are something's changed. Maybe it's not sudden. Maybe it came on gradually, like fog rolling in over a field. At first, you still felt the spark, but now it's quieter, duller, almost absent. You look at your partner, or maybe you don't. You go to bed, but nothing stirs. And quietly in your own mind, you ask the question no one really prepares you for. Is this just what getting older feels like? Am I still me? Where did that part of me go? Let me tell you the truth, honestly, gently, and without shame. Low libido after 65 is real, but it is not always caused by age. In fact, for many men, the loss of desire is not the end of masculinity, but a signal that your hormones are shifting in a way no one warned you about. And the best part, that shift can be understood, and in many cases, supported, healed, and even reversed. Not with a pill, not with pressure, but with presence. Because the desire itself, your libido, was never a measure of your worth. It was simply your body's way of saying, I feel alive, I feel connected, I feel ready. So today we're going to explore what's really happening when that voice grows quiet and how you can begin bringing it back gently, naturally, and without fear. Let's begin. Part 1, what libido actually means for men over 60. Let's begin with something simple but rarely spoken. What does libido actually mean, especially after 60? Because the world has taught us that libido is just about arousal, about physical urge, about being ready. And when that readiness fades, we assume something is wrong. But what if I told you that libido, real, deep, enduring libido, isn't just about sex? It's about vitality, about presence, about how fully you feel alive in your own body. And when that feeling dulls, when your desire drops, when you start avoiding intimacy or questioning yourself, it doesn't mean you're broken. It means your body is trying to talk to you in the quiet language of energy and connection. You see, in your 20s or 30s, libido could feel almost automatic. You didn't need much reason or readiness. Your biology took over. But after 60, that changes. Not because you're less of a man, but because your body starts asking for more than instinct. It asks for rhythm, for safety, for deeper forms of intimacy, emotional, mental, even spiritual. And if those deeper needs are neglected or numbed or buried under stress, then yes, your desire fades, not out of weakness, but out of protection. Let me be clear, low libido after 65 is common, but that doesn't mean it's normal, and it certainly doesn't mean it's permanent. In fact, for many men, it's a wake-up call, a quiet invitation to explore what your body really needs now in this new season of manhood. Let me share something I've seen in my years of working with men. They come in with the same quiet frustration, not pain, not illness, but that feeling of being numb where there used to be fire. They love their partner, they care deeply, but they don't feel drawn the way they used to. Touch feels distant, connection feels confusing, and most of all, they miss themselves. They miss that quiet inner spark, that sense of being awake, engaged, desiring, present. And often they're ashamed to even bring it up because no one told them that after 60, libido becomes less about stimulation and more about wholeness. If your stress is high, if your sleep is poor, if your testosterone is low or your cortisol is stuck, if you feel distant from yourself emotionally, then it's no wonder libido steps back. Why? Because libido is not just a switch, it's a barometer. It tells you whether your body feels safe, whether your nervous system is rested, whether your energy is being drained or held with care. That's why many men describe low libido as not just sexual, but existential. They say, I just don't feel like myself. I feel invisible, even to me. There's nothing wrong in my relationship, but I feel disconnected. And I want you to know those feelings are not failures, they are messages. They're your body saying, I'm not ready to perform. I'm asking for presence first. I need your patience, not your panic. If you slow down and listen, I'll return. So instead of asking, how do I get my libido back? Ask, where did I stop feeling connected to myself? What part of me has been running on empty? Where have I been pushing when I needed to rest? Because libido, real, grounded, lasting libido, doesn't begin in the genitals. It begins in the heart, in the gut, in the nervous system, in the quiet sense of, I'm here and I'm safe to open. Let's be even more honest. The men who rush to pills, fixes, and performance-based solutions often skip the part that matters most, reconnection. Reconnection with the breath, with sleep, with purpose, with softness, with slowness, With your partner, yes, but also with yourself. That's when libido starts to return. Not like a spark, but like a warmth, a presence, a desire, not just for sex, but for closeness, aliveness, energy. This shift is subtle but powerful. When you stop viewing low libido as failure and start seeing it as feedback, you reclaim your role not as someone who has lost it, but as someone learning a new rhythm. Because here's what I'll tell you, man to man, your desire is still there. It may be buried, it may be sleeping, but it is not gone. And you don't need to force it awake, you just need to make space for it to return. That begins with understanding what libido truly is, a mirror of how you're living, not how you're performing. So, yes, low libido after 65 is real, but it's also real that men restore it gently, naturally, and fully when they begin honoring their deeper systems. In the next part, we'll explore one of the biggest reasons that desire disappears after 60, and it's not because of aging. It's because of a hidden hormone shift that most doctors never talk about, but that changes everything once you see it. And trust me, once you understand this shift, you'll stop blaming age and start rebuilding your strength from a much wiser place. Let's go there next. Part 2, the hidden hormone shift that's rarely discussed. Most men over 60 are told the same story. Your testosterone is low. That's why you're tired. That's why your desire is gone. That's why your body feels dull. Take this gel, take this shot, take this pill. But no one tells you why testosterone drops. And even fewer people talk about what else changes alongside it. Because here's the truth, no one's saying loudly enough. Low libido isn't always caused by low testosterone alone. In fact, many men still have normal T levels, and yet they feel no desire. Why? Because there's another hormone involved, one that often gets ignored, depleted, or drowned out, especially after 60. It's called DHEA, and it may be the missing link in your story. Let me explain. What is DHEA and why does it matter? DHEA, short for dehydroepiandrosterone, is a hormone produced by your adrenal glands. Think of it as a foundational hormone. It's a precursor to both testosterone and estrogen, and it helps your body create other critical hormones that regulate energy, mood, immune function, and surplus. And yes, sexual desire. In your youth, DHEA is abundant. In fact, it peaks around age 25 to 30. Then very slowly it begins to decline. By the time you're 70, your DHEA levels might be just 10–20% of what they were at their peak. That's not abnormal. That's natural aging. But here's the twist. If that decline happens alongside chronic stress, your body starts choosing survival over sexuality. Let's go deeper. Your adrenal glands don't just make DHEA, they also make cortisol, the stress hormone. When your body is under pressure, when you don't sleep well, when your nervous system is constantly on alert, when you bottle up frustration, grief, or worry, your adrenals prioritize cortisol. Why? Because to your body, survival always comes first. It doesn't care about desire if it thinks you're in danger, even if that danger is just from your email inbox or your bank account or your overthinking brain. So what happens? Cortisol rises, DHEA drops, and testosterone, it gets stuck in limbo, unable to rise because the supporting system is off balance. You feel flat, foggy, unmotivated, numb, disconnected, and worst of all, you don't understand why. Because your T levels might be technically fine, but no one checked your DHEA, and no one told you how it works with testosterone, like a tandem system. DHEA isn't just biological, it's psychological. In studies, men with higher DHEA levels report greater confidence, more interest in touch and connection, better response to emotional closeness, faster recovery after stress, and yes, stronger, more spontaneous desire. Not because DHEA is magic, but because it helps restore the internal safety that libido needs to thrive. Think of libido like a plant. Testosterone is the sunlight, but DHEA is the soil. Without healthy soil, the plant doesn't grow, no matter how much light you give it. Signs you may have low DHEA, even if T seems okay. If you're over 60 and you've noticed lower desire despite decent sleep, less drive to initiate touch or affection, faster emotional burnout, less satisfaction from intimacy, a dull emotional response, even to things you once enjoyed, more stress but less resilience to it, then your adrenals may be tired, and your DHEA may be struggling. But here's the good news. DHEA levels can often be supported naturally, not just through supplements, though they can help, but through restoring your adrenal rhythm. And that brings us back to rhythm. Again, back to slowing down, back to listening. So, what can you do? Before you rush to buy a supplement, pause. Ask yourself, where am I asking too much of myself? Where have I stopped giving myself recovery? Where am I burning energy all day and wondering why I feel empty at night? Because even the best hormones can't help you if your life rhythm is out of alignment. To restore DHEA naturally, sleep in sync with sunset and sunrise, breathe deeply and slowly, especially after meals. Take short walks in nature without your phone, say no more often, even to small obligations. Reconnect with activities that feel joyful, not productive. Touch someone, gently, without expectation. Take moments of silence where nothing needs to happen. These things aren't biohacks, they're biological respect. They tell your body, you're safe now, you can create again. And when the body feels safe, DHEA begins to rise, cortisol begins to settle, testosterone follows, and libido, it comes back quietly, not like a firecracker, but like a returning breath. One of the saddest things I see is when men blame themselves. They say, maybe I just don't care anymore. Maybe this is just what aging is. Maybe I'm not a man like I used to be. And I want to tell you clearly and gently, that's not true. You're not failing. You're adapting. And your body is asking for something different now. Not more force, not more performance, but more rhythm, more respect, more truth. That's what DHEA supports. That's what testosterone listens to. That's what libido grows from. In the next part, I'll walk you through a simple 3-step process to begin restoring that balance naturally without shame starting tonight. Because low libido isn't your fault, but your healing, that's your power. Let's reclaim it together. Part 3, a 3-step plan to support libido after 65 without pills or pressure. Now that we've talked about what libido really is and uncovered the hidden hormone shift behind it, let's take it one step further. What can you actually do to support it, gently, naturally, and without pressure? Because I want to make something very clear. You don't need to become someone new. You don't need to chase youth. You just need to create space for your body's natural rhythm to return. And for most men over 65, that starts with 3 powerful shifts, not just in lifestyle, but in how you relate to your own energy, rest, and intimacy. Let's walk through them one by one. Step 1, calm the system. First, restore safety before stimulation. Desire doesn't grow in tension, it grows in safety. And by safety, I don't mean physical security. I mean emotional and nervous system safety. If your body is constantly alert, always checking the phone, overthinking, pushing through stress, or worrying silently, your nervous system is in fight or flight. And in that state, libido goes offline. Because desire is not essential to survival, it's essential to thriving. And your body needs to know that it's allowed to thrive. So here's your first practice. Create a small pocket of stillness every day. No phone, no urgency, no goal. Just sit, or lie down, or walk slowly, and breathe. Try this. Inhale through the nose for 4 seconds. Exhale slowly through the mouth for 6 to 8 seconds. Do this for 2 to 3 minutes, once in the morning, once in the evening. It may feel like nothing is happening, but what you're doing is telling your body, you're safe now. We don't need to perform. Just be here. When your nervous system believes that, your desire begins to return, quietly, patiently, and without fear. Step 2, rebuild hormonal rhythm through light and sleep. Your hormones are not machines, they're rhythms. And like all rhythms, they respond to light, dark, stillness, and timing. If you want to restore testosterone, DHEA, and desire, you need to reset the clock your body listens to. Here's how. Wake up with sunlight. Open the curtains. Step outside within 30 minutes of waking. Natural morning light is one of the most powerful signals for testosterone and cortisol balance. Move your body lightly after waking. This isn't about exercise. It's about telling your system, we're alive. Let's begin the day. A short walk, gentle stretching, breathing with motion. Protect your evenings. After 8:30 or 9 p.m., start dimming the lights. Turn off the news. Let stimulation soften. Avoid checking email. Avoid blue screens. Sleep by 10:30 p.m. This is when testosterone production begins for the night. Miss this window often enough, and your desire suffers. Remember, you don't need perfect sleep. You need consistent rhythm. And rhythm tells your libido it's safe to return. Step 3, restore connection before performance. One of the biggest mistakes men make when libido fades is trying to force it back through performance. They feel the loss of desire and immediately try to stimulate, fix, or prove something. But desire isn't built on performance. It's built on connection. Connection with your partner, connection with your body, connection with your present moment experience. So if you're partnered, I invite you to shift your approach entirely. Instead of asking, why don't I want sex right now? Ask, where do I feel emotionally close? Where do I feel safe enough to be vulnerable? Where do I allow affection, not just expectation? Start with small, non sexual touch, holding hands, a slow embrace, lying next to each other without pressure. Let your body remember what closeness feels like before it asks for intimacy again. And if you're single, connection still matters. It might be a conversation where you're fully present, a walk where you're in your body, not in your thoughts, a moment of laughter, a moment of stillness. These are the conditions where desire is born again, not through effort, but through embodiment. You don't need to fix everything at once. You don't need to get your drive back overnight. This isn't a race. This is a return. Return to breath, return to rest, return to presence, return to desire, not as performance, but as quiet aliveness. When you support your nervous system, your hormones follow. When you restore rhythm, your vitality follows. And when you allow connection without pressure, without shame, your libido doesn't need to be forced. It wants to come back because desire is not something you lost. It's something your body protected until it felt safe again. If you've come this far, if you've listened, breathed, and reflected along the way, then I want to tell you something that no chart, lab result, or medication label will ever say. You are still a man. Even if your desire has quieted, even if your energy feels lower than before, even if your body doesn't respond the way it used to, none of that takes away your strength. None of that erases your worth. None of that defines your masculinity. Because true vitality after 60 is not about chasing performance, it's about creating presence. And presence doesn't require youth. It doesn't require perfect hormones. It doesn't even require desire that shows up on demand. Presence just asks you to be here fully, to stop running, to stop apologizing, to stop asking if you're enough. You are. You always have been. And sometimes the greatest return of all isn't the return of libido, but the return of self-trust. The ability to look in the mirror and say, I didn't lose my manhood, I've simply grown into a new kind of strength. And yes, your desire can return, not through shame, not through pills, but through the daily rhythm of remembering that your body still wants to serve you if you stop fighting it. So if this video helped you, if it gave you peace or opened a door you thought was closed, then I invite you, gently and without pressure, to subscribe. Not for me, but for you, so you can keep walking this road with guidance, understanding, and care without judgment. This is Men's Vitality After 60, and I'm Dr. Thomas Ray. I make every video for men like you. Not boys chasing image, but men rebuilding purpose. Watch another when you're ready. Sit in silence when you need to, but never ever believe the lie that desire is gone for good. It's not gone. It's just waiting for something deeper. And now, so are you. Take care of yourself tonight, and I'll see you in the next video.